Tomorrow, they will come for me, not with horns, not with banners, with quiet boots and sealed orders. I can feel the net tightening, a different kind of siege, the kind you cannot break with cavalry or fire. I have slept in snow. I have marched through blood-warm rivers. I have listened to men die in the dark. But this night is colder than the Alps. My name is Hannibal Barca. Once, Rome whispered it like a disease. Once, mothers used it to frighten children into silence. Now, I am alone, in exile, in a foreign house borrowed from strangers. The air smells of damp wood and endings. I know what comes next. The messenger, the knock, the polite lie. Come peacefully, then chains, then Rome, then a triumph for men who never face me in battle. They will not have that. So I speak, while I still own my breath. It began after Zama, the day the dust swallowed the sun, the day my elephants failed, and my lines bent and broke. The day the Numidian riders returned, not to me, but against me. I watched their horses cut the field like knives. I watched my veterans stumble, as if the earth itself betrayed them. In that moment, I understood something worse than defeat. I understood the world had shifted. Not just the battle, not just the war, the future. I had crossed the Alps to force Rome to kneel. I had shattered legions on Italian soil. I had made senators tremble behind stone walls. And still, at Zama, Rome stood. When the last cries faded, when my commanders looked at me without answers, when the banners fell into the dirt, I did not scream. I did not beg the gods. I simply turned away and went home. To Carthage, to a city that still breathed, but no longer dreamed. And I carried Zama inside me, like a second heart. Tonight, on the edge of my final day, I will tell you how the conqueror became the hunted, how the war ended, and the fear did not. How I walked from Zama into exile, and why tomorrow I will choose my own end. When I returned to Carthage, the walls were still standing, the markets were open, fishermen still called to the docks, children still ran between pillars. To an outsider, it looked like life, but inside, Carthage was amputated. Rome had not destroyed us. Rome had trained us. They took our fleet, they took our territories, they took our right to fight, even to defend ourselves. We needed Rome's permission. Imagine that. A proud city asking its enemy if it may survive. And yet, the people greeted me. They did not see the chains. They saw the myth. Hannibal is home, they said, as if my presence could undo a treaty. But the elites, the rich families, the men who counted coins instead of scars, they watched me with tight eyes, because heroes are dangerous after defeat. A hero reminds the defeated what they lost. A hero gathers hearts. A hero can become power. So I did what generals rarely do. I stepped into politics. I became souffle, a leader of the city, not with a sword, but with laws, not with cavalry, but with numbers. I looked at our treasury. I looked at the corruption. I looked at the old men who grew fat while soldiers grew thin. And I cut. I forced repayment. I ended bribes. I dragged the hidden money into the sun. I made the powerful feel something they had forgotten: fear. Carthage began to recover, slowly, quietly. It was not an army rising, but a spine. And that is when Rome truly noticed me again. Rome does not only fear armies. Rome fears the possibility of resistance. It fears a city that might stand tall, even without weapons. Rumors arrive like poison. They say Hannibal is plotting. They say he speaks with kings. They say will rise again. Some were lies, some were wishes. All were useful to the men who wanted me gone. Then came the pressure. Rome sent envoys, polite words, sharp eyes. Hand him over, their silence said. Remove him, or we will remove you. Carthage hesitated, and in hesitation I heard betrayal. I understood the truth. My city would not die for me. My city would trade me to buy a few more years of peace. That night, I stopped being a leader, and I began to plan my escape. I left Carthage the way a thief leaves a temple, quietly, quickly, without looking back. No triumph, no farewell, no crowd, only the sea and the taste of salt and loss. I became a man of doors that never fully open, a man of rooms with no windows, a name spoken softly, then swallowed. I crossed to Tyre, then to the courts of kings who hated Rome and feared it. Some offered gold, some offered promises. Most offered a chair at their table and a target on my back. I advised them. I taught them how Rome thinks, how Rome waits, how Rome punishes. But I never again had what I needed most: time. Rome had time. Rome had patience. Rome could lose battles and still win centuries. I tried once more, with Antiochus, a king with ambition, but not the discipline of Rome. He listened, then hesitated. He dreamed, then delayed. Rome does not forgive delay. Rome eats it. Soon the war turned. Antiochus fell back. Treaties were signed, and the Roman gaze returned. To me, always me. I ran again, from court to court, from harbour to harbour, from friend to stranger. Each time I arrived, people smiled. Each time I stayed, their smiles tightened. Because sheltering Hannibal was not hospitality, it was a declaration. And most men do not declare war when Rome is watching. Years passed. My hair grayed, my hands stiffened, my body aged, but my mind stayed sharp, like a blade kept hidden. I learned to read the smallest signals: a servant's pause, a gate left unguarded, then suddenly guarded, a messenger who avoids my eyes. Rome's hand was always there, not a fist, a shadow. Finally, I reached Bithynia. King Prusias gave me refuge. For a time, it felt like peace. But peace is not a place, not for me. Tonight, I know the signal has come. The silence outside is too organized, the air too still. Rome is near. Tomorrow they will surround this house, and they will think the hunt is over. They are wrong, because a hunted man can still choose the moment of his death. And tomorrow, I will deny them their trophy. Exile teaches you the price of every decision. In war, you pay with blood. In exile, you pay with memory. I remember the Alps, the white death on the peaks, the men who slipped and vanished without a sound, the horses that broke their legs on stone, the cold that entered the bones and never fully left. I remember Italy, the fields, the ambushes, the panic in Roman eyes when they realized we were not leaving. I remember Cannae, the perfect circle, the crushing silence after the screams, a victory so complete it should have ended the war. And yet, Rome endured. That is what haunts me more than Zama. Not my loss, their endurance. At Zama, I saw the future. I saw a Rome that would not collapse, a Rome that would learn, a Rome that would adapt, a Rome that would find allies, even among those who once rode with me. The Numidian cavalry was not just a battlefield event. It was a symbol. Power shifts, loyalty shifts, history shifts. And a man, even a great man, cannot hold it still. I ask myself in the quiet, did I make one fatal mistake? Yes. I believed fear was enough. I believed that if I hurt Rome deeply, it would break. But Rome does not break the way other cities break. Rome hardens. Every defeat made them sharper. Every loss made them more ruthless. They did not run from pain. They built a weapon out of it. And over time, my victories became stories. My name became a ghost, a warning. In exile, I learned something bitter. A legend is not safety. It is a beacon. It calls enemies from far away. And they will come, eventually. Tonight, I'm not a general. Not a politician. Not even a fugitive. Tonight, I am simply a man, breathing slowly, listening. I can hear the distant movement, like a tide that does not stop. Tomorrow, Rome will ask me to surrender, and I will answer. With the only freedom I still possess, choice. There is a small vial near my hand, a simple thing, a drop of darkness in glass. I have carried it longer than some men carry a sword, because I knew this day would arrive. Rome does not forget. Rome does not forgive. Rome does not stop once it decides. Tomorrow, they will come with papers, with witnesses, with a smile that pretends to be mercy. They will say, "Come, Hannibal, the Senate will be fair." Fair. As if fairness ever lived in the halls of power. They do not want justice. They want theater. They want a conquered enemy, paraded like proof that Rome is eternal. They will not have that. I will not let them turn my final breath into their celebration. They may erase Carthage someday. They may burn our libraries. They may sell our people. They may salt the earth and call it peace. But they will never erase what I did to them. For years, Rome looked over its shoulder. For years, senators woke from sleep, hearing my name. For years, their generals marched with fear under their armor. That fear was my victory, not Zama, not Cannae. Fear, and fear is not defeated by a treaty. Fear lives longer than cities. So tomorrow, when they surround this house, they will find only silence. No chains, no triumph, no spectacle. Only a door that will not open, and a legend that refuses to kneel. Let history decide my flaws. Let historians count my losses. I know the truth. Rome won the war. But Rome never won peace. And tonight, I take the last thing Rome cannot steal. My ending, my choice, my control.